Hello friends, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a new take on my geode pumpkin. This was an order or a commissioned piece that was ordered along with one of my other geode pumpkins, my traditional geode pumpkins. And when I cut into this larger one, I realized that it was hollow on the inside, unlike my smaller ones that are not. They're foam filled. So because this was a pre-order, I had to really kind of depend on my creative mojo and decide where I was going to go with this. And so when all else fails, you pull out your crystal points and your FireGlass and you just begin creating. And I knew that, I was going to give her a choice whether or not this was going to work for her. And so I just kind of went with it. And if she didn't like it for some reason, which she did, she loved it, then I would just keep it for myself or give to one of my children's families. But at any rate, what I'm doing here is just using hot glue and fastening all the way around the perimeter of the opening that I cut. Now that I have done this process once, there's a lot of things that I will do differently moving forward, meaning essentially I would fill the inside before I work on the outside. So just bear with the process here. I wanted to video it for you and see how it came out. So I'm just going to be quiet and stop my rambling and let you guys watch the process, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. So the crystal points that I'm using here, I purchased from dryerdaysartstudio, and I do have a discount code available for you in the description box. This was my original geode that my client ordered, and she wanted the larger one to go with it. And I will link the video of how I made that original piece in the description box as well. This is what it looks like after I've gotten all of the stones around it, and it's quite pretty. I decided as an afterthought that I wanted to go ahead and do the inside of the pumpkin as well. So I've just thrown some FireGlass in there to see, you know, if this is the direction I want it to go or not. And ultimately it is. Now I've gone ahead and put resin on the perimeter opening and got that set up. And the next day I'm going to continue adding more of the crushed glass to the center instead of the larger pieces of FireGlass that I used around the outside with my crystal points. I'm just using this crushed glass that I got from Micheals. You can see that because my pumpkin rolls, I've braced it on the back side with a couple of things to help keep it from rolling over, so that when I put the glass on the inside, it won't, the pumpkin won't shift. And you can see that reaching in and out and seeing on the inside is a little more challenging if I had waited, or if I had done that initially instead of closing in that opening, the perimeter with the stones, and it would have been a little bit easier. So next time I do this, I know to do the inside first. But this was a process that I kind of had to go through in order to gain that knowledge. This particular pumpkin came from Hobby Lobby. Actually, all of the pumpkins that I created came from Hobby Lobby. I've got my resin mixed, and what I'm doing is just sprinkling it in over that glass that I just laid in. There's a lot of product used in this particular piece, and so you might want to just keep that in mind. And I'll put a list of the products that I used and where I got them from, so that you'll have that available if needed. And in just a few minutes, I'll give you an outside shot of what this will look like once this phase is completed. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'd love for you to consider subscribing and hitting that like button. If you are a frequent flyer here on my channel, thank you so much for being here. Your support means everything to me. All right, so here I have a small little spoon. I get those spoons from Dollar Tree, and I have some round cut glass glitter that I get from Laura's Art Corner, and I'm just really kind of flinging it in and across the glass that has the wet resin in place. Now I'm using some gold crushed glass. They're just very small pieces of glass. And to me, that adds a real organic element to this and makes it look a little bit more authentic. This is a Let's Resin product. Now what I'm showing you here that's a little off camera is Sparkle Diamonds, and it is also from Laura's Art Corner. They're just real small little silvery diamonds that catch the light a little differently because of the way they're cut. And this is a good, you can see that I'm just kind of flinging it across the wet resined areas. And here is what it looks like up to this point. I wasn't really sure how much of the interior I was going to need to cover, and so I brought it outside to kind of get an estimate of how much of that back is going to show. And so what I decided was, based on this experiment here, was that I needed to go about 3/4 of the way around the pumpkin in order for the majority of it is going to be seen, depending on which way the pumpkin is set at the client's home. Now I have done a pumpkin pour over top of this as well with some gold mica, and I've sprinkled some of that smaller crushed glass on the top along with some diamond dust. And then I went in and I added the remaining bits of glass and such to the inside, and added a little bit more bazing on the outside. You can see that I have some fall leaves trailing, and just a little bit more added to it, and around the front underneath the bottom edge of the pumpkin. This was a fun one to make. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. This short video was intended to just show you the off-take of my original geode pumpkin, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for being here. Many blessings to you, and I'll see you the next time. Leave me any comments or questions that you have below. Take good care.